locked in. GloucesterCast 283. We gorged ourselves on Kouign Amann.
Yes.
We should have a contest, a spell Kouign Amann contest. I guarantee no one would get it right, except for Susan. First time.
Susan who baked them all.
Susan.
Joey who begged me to bake them.
I did.
He
Unabashedly.
money.
I did.
And I said, Joey,
pay.
friends shouldn't charge other friends for food.
It's true.
And I don't think you understood. I just paid you $50 for lobsters.
She kids.
She's having a hard bargain there.
She kids. She's a joker. All right. We have Susan Lipsett, first time on the podcast. We have Tucker and Elise Carlson from Cedar Rock Gardens. Kim's favorite ones because she hates the other ones. All the other ones are no good.
No.
Now, have you ever listened to the podcast how we shit on all the other little garden people?
No, that isn't true.
What's the one? The Blue Ox?
I
What is
mention
it? What's
all
the
the
other
time
one?
Cedar Rock Gardens, and every time I say Cedar Rock Gardens, he goes, well, what about Aprilla Farm? And what about, and don't you like them? And I'm like, yes, I love them, but
It's all the way. I just get under
Cedar
her.
Rock Gardens, I go to all the time.
No, and so every week we get to that point where I bust on her because she brings you guys up, and then she goes into her thing how she loves doing business with you guys because you guys have great stuff and your prices are right on and everything else.
Everything's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. She's a huge fan.
We do our best to get a good product out.
You guys sure do. Top. They grow everything there that they offer. It's really top quality in every way.
Where is it?
It's over on 299 Concord Street in West Gloucester, right on the Essex border.
Very scenic way.
You can't miss it. If you take
There's two
exit
ways
13
to go.
and you take a right off of the exit coming out of Gloucester, so you take the right off of the exit, you'll see the sign. Is it before or after the?
It's like right when you get off the exit. You'll go off.
There's a sign. You're going to go towards Wingersheek Beach, and then it's about 3.5 miles off of
is it that far?
the exit 13. So go until you think you went too far, and keep going a little farther.
And then also,
GPS.
and I think an easier way too for people to understand is if they're on the highway and they're coming from coming from the south, and they take exit 14, and then you just isn't that exit 14?
Yep.
And you just go. That's a very direct route.
Yeah, that's just
Exit 14 is?
Yeah, so
133?
because they're 133 because they're kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
You can get to it from either side,
Okay.
and then you go I always have fun. I go one way, and then I come home the other way, so I get to see the whole route.
It's very exciting.
Well, it's beautiful.
It's very exciting.
It's beautiful.
The sign is very cool, though. You must have. One of you guys made the sign. Tucker made the sign. Yeah, you can't miss the sign.
Joey doesn't go to West Gloucester either.
I haven't been there.
I do not leave. I try not to leave the Shire in the summer. East Gloucester,
I'm with you, Jeff.
right? You're with me. Why would we leave here?
Well,
Except to go to
Whole
Cedar
Foods,
Rock.
Whole Foods.
To
You
go to
gotta
Cedar
leave.
Rock.
Yeah, it's funny. We say the same thing about West Gloucester. Why would we ever go downtown?
Oh yeah, downtown in the summer is tough. Susan, I just want to. I don't know if we spent enough time on the Kouign Amann stuff.
You spent plenty of time eating them.
There's only
You
two
sure
left.
did.
How many did you bring in?
10.
10.
I had two. My daughters had two.
Okay.
Yeah, and I sent one home for their mom.
That was sweet.
Very nice.
Tucker and Elise had one. Did you guys each have one?
Oh
Yeah.
they're fabulous.
They-
And I'm
Those
saving mine for a
layers of
nice hot
butter.
cup of coffee at home. A nice cafe au lait at home.
I don't believe you.
So fancy.
I think you're bringing it home for Tom. I don't think you're going to eat it.
Oh.
Well,
Well, I don't have a problem with that, but I think that's what's going to happen.
I'll have to share my one with him unless you have a
You can take another one. Take one for Tom.
Okay, I will.
Tom writes the
Right
Tom.
now, before he changes his mind.
Yeah, no, because Tom does the nice write-ups on the Gloucester Stage productions.
Yes. I'll
So.
tell him it's payment for his Gloucester Stage reviews.
Yes, Cedar Rock Gardens. What right now? So this is your second year doing a CSA in 3 years,
Yes.
and for people who don't know, community supported agriculture, and so you can. The shares are taken this year, right?
Yeah, we're full this year.
You're full this year,
Yeah.
but is there a waiting list to get on?
Yeah, you can certainly email us for a waiting list spot.
And what's the email address?
It's cedarrockgardens@gmail.com.
Very good, very good. What is in season? So so some people think of farms as just food, and some people think of other farms as just flowers. You guys have a wide variety of stuff.
Yes.
What right now, if people went there, would be people be delighted to find?
The peonies. They're perfectly in season right now. You can walk through the field and pick your own bunch of peonies. They are $1.50 a stem, and we have color ranges from white with a pink center to dark pink with a yellow center. And they're just stunning. And they're the best.
Can I just add to that before you go into the next thing? The ones that I got this week have lasted a whole week. They, when you buy them from the store, from the florist, they often just kind of like turn into blobbed heads. These have opened up fully, and they're making my whole downstairs smell fabulous. So all the ones they have are super fragrant.
That's a great value. Why would you go buy a dozen roses when you could get 8 peonies?
Right.
Like peonies, much more.
Yeah, they're
Susan was saying, Susan has peonies in her yard.
Yeah.
But she has a theory of what she wants to do. Why don't you explain?
Well, my theory is that I always have to debate, should I pick some of these and put them in a vase in the house, but then I won't have them to look at when I'm outside.
That's why I go to Cedar Rock
So
Garden.
once I saw on Facebook that you can go pick your peonies, I'm going to do that so I can have them outside and inside.
Yes, that's what I do.
Brilliant.
That's exactly
They are
what
my
I did.
favorite, and I look forward
That's exactly what I
to
do.
them every year.
We need a report when you go back, so she'll be our
I'll do a live
independent
podcast
auditor
from the
because
farm.
you have she'll be the independent auditor because you are you do business.
She's obviously
jaded.
prejudiced.
Jaded.
She's not. She's lost her objectivity. Blinded by the peonies.
Blinded by the peonies is right.
There's one cool thing that you could do with the peonies this year, if you love them, and you have an event that's coming up. What you could do is you could come to the farm, and if you pick them, as soon as they start to show color and they feel like a marshmallow when they're all tight, then what you do is you take them and wrap them in some plastic or cellophane, and you put them in the refrigerator, and it will stop them completely.
How long?
And it'll
Can you
stop
do
them
that
for up to 3 months.
Oh, my
That's
goodness.
incredible.
I
And then you have an
Peonies all
event.
summer.
If you have an event coming up, say in a month, you pull them out of your refrigerator a day to 2 days before, and they'll open right up.
See, this is why
I
value
love that.
added
Right.
guests right here.
That was
It's
worth
just
the trip
added.
right there
Yeah.
to hear about doing that.
Great.
Now you don't feel so bad about getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to
I
make
get up
the
at 5
Kouign
o'clock
Amann.
every morning, or before. I get up at 4 to do the Kouign Amann.
There you go. Thank you.
You did them this morning.
So worth it.
I started them last night and then did the last
Wow.
20 steps this morning.
This is a special request.
Special
This
request.
guy. Tell me what else.
So in the CSA currently we have, and we sell to restaurants too, but we have greens, arugula, spinach, mixed greens, radishes.
And we also have bok choy, thyme, mint, oregano. The broccoli's coming in. There's hakurei right now. The scallions are just about ready to harvest.
What's hakurei?
Hakurei is like a white radish, but it's very sweet comparative to a radish.
Well,
But it's in the
technically
same
turnip,
thing.
right?
Yeah, radish, turnip. Right in there.
Root vegetable.
What
Yeah.
are your vegetables?
It's the constant battle
Yeah.
with the hakurei is. But we'll have so we have 2 refrigerators at the nursery area that we have bagged greens for sale that we harvest as we harvest. So, we have the CSA and they come and get what they need, and then we also have all of our extras.
Do you have spinach?
Okay.
Yeah, spinach.
So is
Probably
it,
have
so
to
it's
wash
everything
it,
is so. Would it be correct to say a blanket statement that anything from your place is organic, or is that not right?
Everything we grow is organic. Yeah, we grow it
Okay,
our
so you don't have to say I have organic baby spinach. You have spinach, and just
Everything
it's
we
organic.
grow is grown organically. Yes.
So I could send Kate there because I'm going to Stop at Shop Steady because she's on this crazy diet,
Yeah.
and she has to have like the organic spinach.
Wow.
And instead of going to Stop at Shop,
Shop,
we
go-
could
I
go over
just
to
bought
Cedar
some.
Rock Gardens.
Stop and shop, I wish I had, yeah. I
Right.
didn't even think about it.
You know what? It's a thing where you, I mean, you guys know more about this, where you can't set, like, you can't say, you have to get like a certified organic thing.
You have to pay
But
the VIG.
you have to
Yeah,
pay
to
a
use the
big,
word
big money.
organic, it's trademarked.
Right. It's trademarked, so it's big money, right?
It's just a
So you-
racket.
Yeah.
Right.
It is a racket.
But you can grow things organically and call yourselves organic.
But we're
too,
not
because-
certified.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll take your word for
It's
it.
based on
Yeah, we'll take
trust.
your word for it.
And
I have a
looking
pretty
at
good
these
feeling
folks,
about
I
these two.
totally trust what they say about
I would trust that their
Yeah,
stuff
versus-
be more organic than what I'm going to get at Stop and Shop.
Absolutely.
And I like Stop and Shop.
And
No,
also
no,
times-
no,
And
not to
also,
shit on
right,
them.
also it's local. Like it's not, paying trucking fees.
But I mean, I have to imagine that if you get it from Cedar Rock Gardens, like the shelf life is going to be
yeah, like
what, 5
times
times more?
longer.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
How
Yeah,
many
the
times?
average
Right.
greens by the time it gets to the market is 6 days old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was that long.
So,
I mean,
so
that
how
makes
much
sense.
help do you guys have to like cut stuff down and package it and all that stuff?
We have a good amount. We have a full-time person, and he's awesome, John. He's great. He's mostly farm, CSA person, and then we have a couple part-time ladies that help us with the nursery stand.
Yeah, I saw a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that you? Did you do that post?
Yeah, with Kim and Cheryl.
Yep.
2 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
They-
fabulous.
Yeah, they were
They're
wonderful.
awesome. Yeah.
They were so helpful.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
'Cause
Everybody there.
I can't imagine like the amount of work it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's
Yeah,
a lot.
right. I mean,
And then we have 2 other people right now that are apprenticing on both the nursery and the farm because they're kind of 2 separate businesses.
Yeah.
And then another 2 high schoolers that help out periodically.
Are y'all open every day for people to come buy stuff?
Yep, 8 to 5.
Okay.
And they have, and like throughout the season, they have other pick your own things. Like what comes after
What?
peonies.
So all of the perennials start coming up. So we have a lot of penstemon and irises, and the Joe Pye weed is all up, and the thyme, mint, and oregano is all sort of in that pick your own area too. We have sunflowers,
Sunflowers.
zinnias.
We get oregano, we can make vodka sauce,
right?
Joe.
Zinnias all summer too.
It's got fresh oregano. It's
Vodka.
delicious.
how do you price like herbs and stuff like that? By a bunch? Or
Yeah,
how does
usually
it
buy
go?
a bunch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to make some pesto. I just gonna. I have it in my head.
They
They
Some
have
basil.
they have piles of basil there.
Okay,
Yeah,
here's
we
what
have
basil
basil
ready?
for sale in 4 packs, but it is so big that you could harvest
Right.
a lot right
That's
away.
what I
Yeah.
do sometimes.
Oh.
I
Do you know
just
how
buy
you know how
4
you had the suggestion for keeping the peonies longer?
Yes.
What is your suggestion to keep? Because sometimes when I'm not picking on Stop and Shop. I'll just say a grocery store. Sometimes I go to a grocery store, and like a little packet of herbs is a fortune.
It's
But
like $3.
I only need a couple little sprigs for my
Right.
recipe,
Well, that's
and then it sits in my fridge until it
Yeah, but if you
until
were,
it just
I
rots.
vacuum
if you were
seal them and
growing-
freeze
Well,
them.
don't
growing
ever
it in a
refrigerate
little-
pesto. I mean, don't ever refrigerate basil.
right.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't like it.
Doesn't like it.
And
There
Just
you
a
go.
cup of
if you
water
were
out
just,
of the sun.
if you were growing some in a
Under
little
coffee.
pot,
Yeah.
which would you could do that very easily with herbs. They don't require as much attention as a lot of other things, like especially like thyme and stuff like that. They can have a little.
Oh, do you guys have the little things that you can plant them yourself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
move.
solution.
Yeah,
You
we
just
have
pick
all the
off what you
seeds.
need.
But you need a lot of basil to make
That's
pesto.
what I'm saying. Right.
Yeah, you can
That's
do
where you're trying to go?
box of basil.
This is exciting.
Yes, but basil.
I think that
grows really
everybody
fast.
that loves grilling should have at least a whiskey barrel full of herbs
To
right
make
next to
chimichurri
your
to go on
right
that
next to your
steak.
grill.
I think you're right.
You know.
Thyme,
you're right.
rosemary, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
I've got it right by my grill.
I was watching a video of one of my favorite barbecue video YouTube channels. Is a guy named Malcolm Reed. Malcolm Reed would get bunches of rosemary or whatever, and he'd tie them together, and he'd use it to mop his.
I've seen that.
Oh.
I've also seen
It's like an
rosemary
oil
used
brush?
as
That's
Yeah.
like a basil.
I've seen
Do that.
rosemary used as a skewer for chicken kebabs.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that would be so flavorful, wouldn't it?
Delicious.
We got all kinds of ideas. I'm starving. I got ribs on the grill right now.
Yay.
Jesus,
We should have brought you down some herbs.
I
I
know.
know that would have been nice.
Next time.
We give you Queen Amanns, but we got nothing. Next time.
He's just guilting you. So for the
I
next
am
time
guilting you for next
to
time.
bring
Yes.
some.
Oh, yeah.
So I want, but So is there any chance that you expand so what do you base the number of people that you allow to do the CSA off of? Like what you
basically our sanity when it comes to the work week. So we have 50 families right now that come.
And we would like to increase it to 100 families next year. But it's dependent on the staff and the employees that we have.
Yeah.
So that's why the first year we started the nursery, we had a CSA and we went totally crazy trying to do both. So the second year we took it off, expanded the nursery to the point where we could add the CSA back on. And now that we have both of them running, now we all have all the systems in place, and now we can really expand in that sense. Our big thing last year was getting a steady, good water supply, and so last year was focused around putting in a well and running plumbing everywhere so we could just turn on faucets instead of running hoses everywhere.
And how is the I know that you told me that at one point that the water from a well is much better than the chlorinated city water. Like, have you noticed a difference?
We've noticed a huge difference with that.
In how things grow.
Especially with the begonias are big. What is the thing with the Gloucester water is
like, what kind of difference?
They grow a lot faster. They just look healthier. So a lot of town waters have additives in them, and we found some additives in the Gloucester water that things just didn't grow well, and we were.
So should I be watering my herbs with like distilled water?
Well, in the ground, it's okay. Everything's fine.
No, they're in pots.
Oh, in pots.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's got good drainage and a lot of soil, so our pots are this big by this big, so they're 3-inch pots, and so they don't get any other water source. You just probably get rained on a little bit. Ours don't get rained on because they're in the greenhouses, so they're only getting that water, and so all of the additives to the water are just condensing in these small pots.
Yeah.
And so the roots just don't like it.
Gotcha.
So I wouldn't worry about
the chlorines and the fluoride, they'll kill a lot of the biologicals in your soil. Mm-hmm. The good bacteria, the good fungus in your soil. And that will leave the roots kind of bare and susceptible to disease and whatnot.
Interesting.
And do you feed them the plants?
We feed them with compost tea. And then Neptune's makes a fish emulsion blend, and we use that on our
Neptune's Harvest.
Neptune's Harvest.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
As well as we're using beneficial mycorrhizae this year, which will latch onto the root of the plant in a symbiotic relationship, and they'll fix nitrogen from the atmosphere, and the plant will feed them sugar. And it's a great symbiotic relationship, and you'll get much larger plants because of it.
What did you call that?
The beneficial mycorrhizae.
Okay, is that something that that is just accessible to you guys, or is that something you sell?
No, we do it in a form. It's called microapply, and we do it to all the plants that we sell.
Okay.
And we water that into the soil.
Okay.
Periodically as the plant's growing. So it's another thing. If you're buying plants from us, we've been inoculating them with this beneficial mycorrhizae.
This is
I
great.
wish I'd known to go there to buy the herb plants.
That's awesome, you guys.
Right, so here's a story. When I bought not my first house. When I bought my house in Hamilton, I was gonna put some arborvitaes out for a little screen with the neighbors, and so I went to Lowe's because they're having a sale on arborvitaes. Fucking. On the tag, it said that these arborvitaes, and they're tremendous growth. You're gonna have, they're gonna go 20 feet in the air. I had those things for 10 years. And two out of the 8 died, and they never never went higher than like 7 feet. And so people had always told me, when you go. Spend a little extra money. Go to Colas,
Maybe
brother.
it's not the plants. Did you do a good job taking care of them?
What do you mean take care? What do you got to do?
You got to take
You
care
put
of
them in the
plants.
ground, right? What do you mean?
I mean, are you sure it was the plants?
Oh, it might have been me.
So,
But I feel like
it was probably a combination.
It could have been. I don't know. Maybe it was me. But the arborvitaes, don't they grow?
I think you told me that you had really bad soil put in your house too.
I did have crappy
I
soil.
didn't recall that story
So
about
you can't
really
just-
bad soil.
Well, it wasn't. I wasn't aware. So when we built the house, they built in the guy that did the septic. He just dumped all this dirt.
Yeah.
From who knows
Yeah,
where,
what's
what-
in there.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like big rocks in there, just like that, like kind of like it was like sand. But it wasn't like nice deep brown, nutrient rich thing there. This was like
mushy, sandy.
yeah.
yucky,
It was like more like the color of like Carhartt. Like that burnt orange, like
Like clay.
there's nothing, clay,
Like Georgia soil,
Yeah.
we have red.
yeah,
red
garbage,
Okay.
yeah. So maybe that had a little something to do with it. Crazy, call me crazy.
The
But
three keys
we
with growing anything is food, water, and sunshine.
yeah. Well,
Well, and also tell us also about your Native Plants Day coming up. I'm super excited about that.
Native Plants Day.
Yeah, they're having a Native Plants Day.
Yes, we have a lot of our native plants will be ready on June 20th. So we have a boatload of Asclepias. That includes milkweed, Asclepias tuberosa, which the butterflies love. And those are always good to have in your yard because we all know pollinators are disappearing. And we would love to attract them to our gardens because it makes your vegetables happier, it makes your flowers happier, and they're beautiful. And they're fun for kids too.
Yeah.
We'll have the milkweed that the butterflies, the monarchs love. So if you want anything like that.
What other kind of native plants are you going to have?
We'll have Joe Pye weed,
Oh.
cardinal flower.
No, cardinal flower too. Yeah. Is your Joe Pye the straight species or is it baby Joe or little Joe?
It's the straight species.
Straight species.
Yeah, we have some baby Joe too, but the one that'll be ready on the 20th will be
the straight species.
Oh, really? The spray species?
Well,
That's wonderful.
You know why the
I
straight
have no idea.
species?
No,
This
they
is
were
all
talking
like
about
This regular Joe Pye grows like 7 to 8 feet when it's happy, and then baby Joe and little Joe grow 4 to 5 feet. So that's why I'm asking which
Baby
one.
Joe. No, still no
They
idea.
named it for you.
What?
They named it after
They
you.
named it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
we
what is
should
it? What does it
call
look
Baby
like?
Joe
I mean, what
from
is it? Is it a grass? What is it?
Yeah, we have no idea.
It's a
It's really tall.
Can you
It's
eat
very
it?
tall. It's got beautiful fluorescence. It's like the flowers are
like a
straight
big
species
umbral.
is pale lavender, right?
And it's
pale
got like a
lavender.
wide
Yeah.
umbrella-shaped flower.
Oh,
And then little Joe and baby Joe are a deeper pinkish color, but it's highly, highly attractive to swallowtail, eastern tiger swallowtail butterflies. So,
Wow.
which you guys have a lot in your fields. I noticed a lot of tiger swallowtails.
do you ever photograph the butterflies over there?
Yes.
So
And
wait a
there's
second.
photo
So this
last
is
year
the.
on there.
I don't want to skip over this because
Yeah.
I know this is very important because anything to do with have butterflies we have to emphasize.
Yeah.
So the June 20th, is it more than one day or is that the
So
kind of
that'll
like
be
this
the
is a
day they
big
come out.
announcement that they're here
That's the
and
real-
come
And then
get
they'll
them?
be for however long they're, in
While they
stock.
last.
We'll have them,
While
yeah.
they last.
Yeah.
And cardinal flower is fabulously
I'm gonna put it on
attractive
my-
to hummingbirds.
Oh, cool! I love
so-
hummingbirds.
Yeah, that's really attractive to hummingbirds. So.
Do they have an anti-crow flower?
Or anti-coyote flower.
I don't mind the coyotes so much. The crows in the morning
crows.
drive me up a
Oh,
wall.
yeah. Oh, well, they're nothing like a peacock. Have you heard of a peacock in the morning?
Oh, and guess what? And speaking of peacocks, guess who has peacocks?
Segway City. Hello.
So I want to know where you guys got your peacocks, how old
I
they
want to
are.
know why
where
you
they-
got your peacock.
Are they an
That's all
invasive
Tucker.
species?
No, they look great in the farm. I'm glad you have peacocks.
So I had to think of a great Mother's Day activity for my mom and I to do, and our neighbor down the road had these two adolescent 1-year-old male peacocks. The male peacocks are the ones very colorful, the blue one that you're typically thinking of. And so what better to do on Mother's Day than to take your mom out and go wrangle some peacocks? And so we went down to our neighbor, Betsy Mills, and you should have seen my mother. She grew up working at zoos, so she loved this stuff. And we got 2 plastic potting soil bags, and we cut a hole in one end, and then I wrangled the birds, and then I had my mother pulling the head of the bird through the hole in the bag, and then we tied the bag shut, And that way we didn't want to put them in a crate because it would have disturbed their tail feathers. So then we took them and we put them in the back of her CRV and drove them home. and you have to do it. They roost later at night.
I could just see a TV series like those swamp people doing the alligators, like Peacock Hunters of Gloucester on the Discovery Channel, starring Tucker and his mom.
Yeah, tremendous.
Well, that's
I'd watch it. I would watch it.
I'd watch it. I'd record it.
I would DVR that shit.
Too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm with you.
I'm sorry you didn't invite me over.
Go do that alligator they found in Florida.
I might bump off. I might actually erase, to make space, delete the last Super Bowl because we don't want to watch that anyway.
The Bachelorette.
So
put that on there.
So tell us more. So how did you get them to stay at the and not run back over to your neighbors? How did you get them?
So they have a range of like 1 to 3 miles, especially 2 young males will do anything to go find a female, and they're so first we kept them, we had a nice big pen, we kept them locked up for 3 weeks at home. Then in the evening I let out one of the peacocks, one of the males, and then he kind of stuck around the cage waiting for the other male. And then right at dark, I let out the other male.
This is wingman. Get it?
Definitely his wingman. And then the peacocks can fly just like a turkey. They flew up and they roost in the trees. Or these ones specifically went up to the roof of the house and spent the night up there. They love waking up at like 5:30 to
It's your new alarm
4:30. And they let you know when they're ready.
So loud.
What do they say?
Oh, it's really
Oh,
loud.
it's like a small child screaming.
funny.
It's really bad.
Oh my.
Thank God I don't live next to Cedar Rock.
Well, I've heard the expression "up with the chickens," but I never heard the expression "up with the peacocks."
Yeah, they beat them.
Yeah, they wake up the rooster.
Oh my.
God. Is there
But
any-
then they stuck around for the first 3 days that I let them out, and since then they took it upon themselves to introduce themselves to the neighborhood and visit all the neighbors. And
I saw a Facebook post, and it was on Gloucester Lost Pets.
Oh, like
And it was a picture of a peacock. And this woman was like, "I didn't know that we had that there was peacocks."
native to Gloucester.
Yeah. Crazy. Absolutely.
So my other question about the peacocks is because I saw how they're just happily running to the nursery and stuff. Does do coyotes, or would they be able to fly away from a coyote?
Yeah, they're great with dogs, with getting away from dogs.
They are.
But the one issue with the coyotes is the females nest on the ground, and they won't leave their eggs, and so they become quite a target for any type of animal, like dogs and coyotes.
But you have 2 males.
Could you ever have them?
We have 2 males.
If we had a
If you
female,
don't
we
have a
would
problem.
probably keep her
You
in
would
the big
keep
pen.
in the big pen, yeah.
So she could be safe.
Or when she starts nesting in the middle of the summer, we put a pen around her wherever.
Yeah.
In the past, they always like the raspberry patch to nest in.
Okay, so you kind of know where to look for nesting and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be great. Interesting.
Are there any
I hope you get a female.
Are there any plans to expand like the animal stuff?
No.
No. You got your hands full right now.
Yeah. Growing up on an animal farm, I feel like I might be predisposed to accumulating more animals.
I think more are coming away.
I'd like to put in a vote for those black pigs, Korabuta.
Oh, they're so cute.
Pigs. I wasn't thinking of cuteness.
Who's the
I was
animal
thinking of
person?
deliciousness.
That's the problem.
Delicious.
So our
Because
friends
it's
are
hard to
raising
buy
some
Berkshire
pigs.
and Korabuta pork
Yeah.
in this part of the country.
I wonder if Liz and Edgar are doing any of that.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure what's pigs. I think they got Duroc pigs, but our friends are raising 12 pigs, salt marsh poultry in Lanesville, and they will have those
Can you have them
available.
tomorrow?
They'll have bacon soon.
And if you thought we were interesting, these two
They
are
are
awesome.
great.
Yeah, they live right up the street here.
Oh, I think they need to
in
be
Mount
on the next
Pleasant.
podcast
Wait
talking
a
about
second.
bacon.
What's the name of this now? Salt pork what?
Salt Marsh Poultry.
Salt pork, he said.
Yeah. They have lots of bacon seedlings coming up for sale.
Lots of
I had to
bacon.
bring bacon with me from Georgia when I came. I brought bacon all the way from Georgia
Really?
to last the whole summer. Because it's hard to find good bacon here.
Is it? Do you get it thick or thin cut?
Salt.
I only,
Are
there
they on
should be no
Facebook?
such
Yeah,
thing as
thin
thin cut
cut,
bacon. I
I
think it should
I gotta
just go
focus.
away.
I think so too.
I think the best bacon that I've ever had is from Tennessee and Kentucky. And that's what I buy, and that's what I bring up here with me.
I heard all the good bacon goes to from here goes to Canada, and they get all the thick cut.
I think they have Canadian bacon
and we
there.
get all the thin.
Maybe. Call me crazy.
This bacon that they had 2 years ago, they finished all their pigs on melons,
Yeah.
on watermelons and cantaloupe,
Now my husband
and
and I
it
make our
was
own
so
bacon. too.
sweet and
Oh my
delicious.
gosh.
Out of
Amazing.
Berkshire
That's
pork
amazing.
belly. We make our own bacon, Joey.
So good.
And my neighbor here in Gloucester makes delicious
I don't know about
bacon.
mine. I'm
Shout out to
I'm lightheaded right now. I can't focus. I may have to pause the whole thing.
And just go have some bacon at my house. Some good Kentucky
Dang.
bacon.
So good.
But the Salt Marsh Poultry, we got to have these people in.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to go
love
visit. I want to go visit.
Yeah.
So do they have a store? Or
No.
what
They
do
have
they do?
What do
well,
they
so
have?
they were selling via. Well, so they actually set up at our place a couple of times, but they just kind of pop up different places. So they're on Facebook and they'll post when they have things ready. And
I'm gonna.
I
just
need
go
these
right
people
on
in my
Facebook.
life.
Follow them.
yeah, they're great.
I understand your fascination with the pollinators and all that stuff. These
Well,
other
let's talk
people
about
speak
bacon
to my heart.
and basil, exactly, and baked goods.
You got
Cover all the food groups.
kindred spirits.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get the herbs from
Yeah,
them,
but
the
without
pig from them.
conservation, we wouldn't have all this other stuff that we like, Joe.
It's true. It's true. Oh man. All right. Well, anyway, the June 20th is the Native Plants event. The CSA. You can email cedarrockgardens@gmail.com. Get on the list. And next year, you did say you potentially going to expand it from 50 to 100 people, so there would be room.
Yes.
So get in now.
Yeah.
So that you could get in for next year, and go. So that if you go there, can the kids see the peacocks? They're basically around.
Yeah, they're around.
Yeah.
They're very fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
They
moving.
buy.
Did you name them?
Spyro and Pepe.
Spiral.
So which one's that? Which one's the boss? It seemed like one was
Pepe.
Pepe is the boss.
Was
Oh,
that
this
for
an alpha
Spiro
peacock?
Agnew?
Yeah.
You named
Oh, yeah.
Spiro? Did you name him after the vice president?
Spyro, no,
Spyro
there's
Agnew?
like a dragon on some Nintendo
Okay, good.
game.
How do you spell Pepe? P-E-P-E?
Yeah.
And Spyro?
Yeah.
S-P-I-R-O?
Yeah.
It's absolutely hilarious.
Oh, and don't forget, they have tons and tons of annuals for sale right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful
Tomato
flowers.
plants and pepper
Pepper
plants and
plants.
Eggplants and
Herbs.
When
lots
will
of
your
flowers.
tomatoes be ready over there?
The fruit?
Yeah.
Maybe another 3 weeks.
Do you have a
or
special?
no, the mid July.
Do you have a special
Okay.
day?
Because I have a
you
new
have
recipe
special
for
day, don't you?
tomato
Do you
bacon
have tomato
jam
day?
to put on burgers.
For the plants.
And I'm
For the
just
plant,
waiting
yeah.
for those fresh tomatoes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll pay for the tomato. I'll pay for the tomatoes, if I can get a cut. And maybe we could get the
A
bacon
cut of
from this.
what?
A little sample so I could put it on my
Oh,
stuff.
you want the bacon tomato jam?
Yum.
Well, I'm not worried about the cost of tomatoes.
But what
that's
is it?
minimal.
The bacon? The bacon.
The bacon.
I already brought the bacon from Georgia. We're good. Just be nice to me. I'll give you some.
Yum.
Joey, friends shouldn't charge friends for food.
I know where you're going with this.
I'd be out of business if that was the case.
Right? I know, right? Right. Yeah,
Except
yeah.
if it's
You
organic,
know-
then it's okay.
Yeah.
Here's a thing
Organic
that
lobster.
I'm not sure they are. He's not certified.
So my lobstermen have friends, and they always inevitably on beautiful weekends like this, their friends ask them for lobsters.
For lobsters.
And the classic thing that people say to lobstermen are, "Oh, I want like 5 or 6 lobsters. You don't pay for them anyway. You get them for free." And it drives. It'd be like you guys, someone saying to you, "You don't pay for that stuff. You get it for
The
free."
most dangerous profession in the world
Is it fisherman?
is fishing.
What's the number one?
Mining.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. I always thought the fisherman was the number one.
Number 2, I believe.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
so too.
Yikes.
Crazy.
But they're both up there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I never begrudge what I pay for seafood.
I love it when Tucker and Elise come in.
Oh, me too.
They just seem
They're
like
so sweet.
They're
maybe
so great.
they might be the two most genuine people I've ever met. in
It
my
made
entire
it
life.
worthwhile coming here just to meet them.
They're really sweet.
Well, for me, it was the Queen of Mons, but
Of course.
when people bring stuff, that's what makes me happy.
That does
I know.
make you happy. I tried to get donuts this morning, and there was such a long line at Brothers Brew. I couldn't, or I would have been super late.
Speaking
I'm
of
glad I
Brothers
didn't.
Brew, they're going to get another free plug from me. Did you notice that they're doing
Where
like
is
lunches there? In Rockport. The best donuts in
Best
on the North Shore.
donuts.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
bananas.
Till I go to my donut class in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Oh,
And then
okay.
she's going to be don't worry about it. It's just going to drive you crazy. She's going to be a regular on the podcast because she's got great stuff to
Yeah, you just want the treats.
No, you don't have to bring any treats. Listen, I'm going to say this. Don't bring any more treats. I just want you here.
Oh, all right. Thank
Okay?
you.
Because you're a great. You bring good stuff to the.
See, now
to
you
the
get
podcast.
treats
that,
for saying that.
That the King
That was all.
Arthur-
See, that was game of chess was
I
going
know.
on.
Child psychology.
So, not on a much more serious note, Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade.
I know.
Oh, my goodness.
I was devastated with Kate Spade, and then I don't know. Anthony Bourdain just hit me even harder, to be honest with you.
And then the alligator ate that poor woman in Florida. It was a terrible week.
That happened this week too.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
What did they find?
Very
So
rarely,
I didn't
rare.
hear the story. I just saw like a
Her
snippet.
husband was going on a business trip. He usually walks their little dogs. He was going out of town. He told her, when you walk the dogs, don't go near the pond because I saw an alligator there. But she did. And in Florida, they tell you you're not supposed to walk pets or small children around dawn or dusk near any fresh water. They have signs, they say it on TV. But she did. And some man said, I saw this woman with her dogs, and then a few minutes later, I saw only the dogs. And one of the dogs was badly injured. So they started, the divers wouldn't go in till the wrestlers got the alligator out. And they found her arm inside the alligator's stomach.
Oh my god.
And then they found her body yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Wow. You know, things haven't changed much because when my little brother, when we were all living in Orlando, Florida, when I was really little, like 6 years old, my little brother wandered away from the house, and we lived near, you know, an alligator lake, and the whole neighborhood stopped, and the whole neighborhood stopped and searched for my brother. I mean, it was just like, even at 6 years old, I remember that. And then the mailman found him like 2 blocks away, but you know, it was just the whole neighborhood stopped.
I was on an airboat tour in south of Naples, and there's like a little inlet, and there's like 5 airboat companies. They all basically are priced similarly, but some of them have restaurants attached to them, and seafood restaurants that you eat outside before you go on the airboat. But it's basically, you know, they're going through the mangroves, and you're going to go see alligators. That's kind of the point of the thing. And they bring you right up to the alligators, and then like right next to the boat. It's fascinating. But like they have all these old newspaper clippings framed of like alligator tails from down there,
Wow.
and like gruesome, like
Right, yeah.
But I think
Like-
it happens very infrequently.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah.
still.
But yeah, I mean,
There's
it's
something like
interesting.
1.5 million alligators in the state of Florida in
Wow.
freshwater
Wow.
bodies.
1.5 million. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
it's scary to me. But Kate
but-
Spade is Kate Spade. You, my Kate, and you
Yeah.
both. That's Kate Spade bag.
Right.
I
well,
happen
you know,
to.
but Kate
You're a Kate Spade fan.
My daughter's first nice handbag
Yeah.
was a little Kate Spade that
Mine
she got
too.
as a gift.
But you know what? Kate Spade hasn't been designing for Kate Spade for like 12 years.
Right.
Deborah Lloyd's been the designer, but
Oh, I didn't
nonetheless,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, she sold
Nonetheless,
the company.
yeah, nonetheless, it's still Kate Spade name. And when I think of Kate Spade, I think of her.
Me too.
I don't think of Deborah Lloyd.
Of
You know what
course,
I mean?
yeah.
So
I never
it's-
heard of Deborah Lloyd.
Deborah Lloyd's been the
Me either.
designer for many years. I'm not even sure who owns it now because
Coach owns it, I believe.
Coach just bought it, but I don't know if Deborah Lloyd's still the designer. So-
That's interesting. So because when you go to Naples, we go around. There are Kate Spade dedicated stores.
Yeah.
And outlets, too.
And outlets, yeah, because down in Naples, in Fort Myers, so the story we talked about this last year. Kate bought her bag up here in was it Freeport or something like that, and a little fray of the handle or something. We brought it back to the Naples outlet, and we didn't have a receipt, obviously, right? Who keeps their receipt? Right. And they gave her a full price back for the bag. She ended up with 2 bags.
Wow.
For the price of like one older bag.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That's great.
That's good customer service. Yeah. But and Anthony Bourdain, the judging by social media, Anthony Bourdain seemed to have touched many lives.
Many more people, because he's just so...
Well, Kate Spade was mostly appealed to women.
Yeah.
Right.
So you only got half the population there.
And also, but Anthony
food.
Bourdain is currently, I mean, she, like I said, she hasn't been in the, except she started a new company about 3 years ago called Frances Valentine.
Yeah.
That's her daughter's name.
Oh.
And so she started this new company, and I know that they were having some financial issues, I read, and then also she was having marital issues. But whereas Anthony Bourdain he's like, cutting edge on the... I think people loved him wherever he went because he was so authentic, and he just really brought a whole new... Like when he would go to like places like Appalachia, he didn't want to show just like the stereotypical viewpoint New Yorkers and New Englanders have. And wherever he traveled, he tried to show people for their authentic selves. And I think that really touched people all over the world. I mean, I think he deeply touched people all over the world with his... And he was a real advocate for women's rights issues, the Me Too movement. I mean, he was a great storyteller.
Yeah,
great storyteller. So,
he was. I mean, that show...
Beautiful writer. He's a beautiful writer.
There's Anthony... well, that's what launched him, right? What was it?
So he went to Mexico to write a book. His friend paid his ticket. He said, if you'll come here and write a book. And that's...
But it's Chef's something confidential, right?
Yep, Kitchen Confidential.
Kitchen Confidential, and it was kind of like a, and
tell-all.
Tell-all, like don't eat, don't read this, before you eat or something like that. Yeah. And that kind of launched him, I think. That's from what I read. And then, but his show, unlike Andrew, I find that Andrew Zimmerman entertaining in a completely different way. Andrew Zimmerman, finding these really disgusting foods and eating them. Anthony Bourdain was more the travel and the experiences and the personal connections. And you can only go by so much of what you see on social media. But every photo, like that he kind of put out there, like the selfies that he put onto his, were always very brooding.
Yeah. Well,
and
those, was that a cry for help? Like, the depression, did he want people to know?
Well, here's the thing. I read someone said, when someone's suicidal, they keep putting out this phone number of the suicide prevention hotline, which I think is a wonderful thing. But who's going to make that call if they're suicidal? You're not going to start making phone calls. People have to recognize it. People close to people in trouble need to just look for signs, I think.
He was, I think he was addicted to heroin by the time.
And cocaine, but a long time ago, I think.
He had a real heroin problem that he kicked. And so, but I think when you overcome something like that, you become addicted to something like that because you're not dealing with some emotions. You know what I mean? So if you're going through... And even if you've kicked the habit, you're still not confronting some of the darker, deeper issues, and that's why he always projected kind of that brooding, thoughtful personality, and he probably wasn't facing some of the emotional pain that he had experienced that made him become, addicted to heroin in the first place. So,
so through those 2 deaths, like back to back, everyone saying, like. You just you got the money. You have all the money, right? You have the fame.
Right.
Like, people, most people would
Would be so.
switch places with either one of these people. Like
They have a
that.
recording of him talking about that and saying, I should be able to look out the window and say, isn't this a beautiful life or something? And he said, and I just can't. Or I don't.
So strange, right?
So, wait, how old was his daughter? Like 11? 11.
And Kate Spades was 13, I think.
That's, to me, that's the greatest tragedy.
It
because-
shows you how troubled they were.
Yeah, because both those children will grow up for the rest of their lives blaming themselves, no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Now, here's something interesting. I was telling Joey earlier that I read that suicide rates in the U.S. have increased 28% since 2000. My daughter, who currently lives in Japan, she and her husband, she told me that although the Japanese suicide rates are higher than in the U.S., they've been declining.
Do they know why?
No, I don't think so. Well, maybe they do. I haven't read up enough. But why is it declining in Japan and rising here? Yeah.
I saw the graphic on that, and Massachusetts was one of the higher ones. Massachusetts has a high rate of suicide. That's increasing.
And increasing.
Yeah.
High and increasing.
Yeah.
I'll find it.
And I also read that American men commit suicide 2 to 1 over American women.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
The women attempt it more, but the men succeed more.
It's a strange use of that verb.
Yeah, I know. But it's just like, I guess, maybe the women are just crying out for help in a way, and the men have just already made the decision. I don't know.
They're better at it.
I don't think I don't think. See, I don't think that money equates happiness.
No, I
agree.
I really don't.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think relationships, play a key role.
Friendships,
family.
family, big, and I think people actually in smaller houses, and that are comfortable are probably a lot happier than people with huge houses that they have to worry about all the time. But it's just such a shame, such a loss. I know a lot of people. I wasn't, I could recognize that. I only saw a couple of Anthony Bourdain show, but I recognized through social media how many people were really into his his shows and stuff.
Authentically, creative, artistic spirit, and I don't know.
Wouldn't you love to be able to travel around the world and write about food? and have a show about food? I mean, to me, it's like, oh my God, if I could, my dream, if I could barbecue and, make money, touring barbecue facilities and hang out.
David Chang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hang out, right. Yeah.
No, but
he's so fun, and he's cheerful.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, he's got much more him than some of these brooding guys.
I heard him speaking honestly in an episode that was filmed in Marseille, and he was like, wow, this is really nice. We're like, because every time they film a fishing scene, he and the crew are barfing, and you know what I mean? This is the 20th fishing scene that we filmed. We haven't caught anything, and I'm in the bathroom barfing, and it's kind of nice to be here and have an actual bathroom with a bidet and so the traveling was wonderful and interesting, but I'm sure it was really kind of taxing in a way too. I mean, he's like,
So when you're stuck at a dock all the time, and a lot of my friends that travel, so they travel, business, and they're in the tech industry or they're in sales, Kate's in sales and stuff, and she travels to Mexico and stuff, all these exotic locations, and I'm like, oh man, I would love to be able to go get away and go there and stuff like that. And then they're saying, oh, I just want to get home and just stay home and not go anywhere. And I'm like, in my head, grass is always greener, right? Grass is always greener. I wanted to do a shout out to Sean Nolan at Extreme Auto. He continues to take really good care of my vehicles and me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is he related to Tommy Nolan? Are they brothers or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is Tommy Nolan from Magnolia?
I don't know, because Tommy Nolan's the guy. I put a post up on about Tommy Nolan in Good Harbor Beach, and I noticed there was great job. Tommy from Sean Nolan, so I just wondered if I wonder if they were brothers.
So you were on the front page above the fold in the Gloucester Times, quoted about the plovers.
Yeah. above the fold.
Well, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
Front page above the fold. That's where you want to be.
Page 2 of the Daily News.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. At first, I didn't know it was an interview.
Well, I found it interesting. I found it interesting that the whole thing was based around the Plovers, and they didn't mention that you were associated with Good Morning Gloucester.
I didn't know. Oh, they did. Yeah, they didn't, did they? I don't
I
know.
thought it was like.
You
I
know,
thought it was really like, you know, where would her advocacy be?
Yeah.
Not that you wouldn't be an advocate for them, but where would it be without your outlet?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like all the people that you've reached through it, you know?
Right. Not them not them at all. You know what I mean? This guy John is super nice, but there are a lot of people who are just like, I know, like all these people who read it and stuff, but who are super dismissive. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just this kind of like weird, it's just this weird thing that goes on. Anyways.
Dismissive of what? The Plover stories
No.
or Gloucester Times?
Gloucester?
No, of Good Morning Gloucester.
Oh, Good Morning Gloucester.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Dismissive.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna.
How could they possibly be dismissive when maybe they could be dismissive of me, right? Maybe they could be dismissive of the Plover stories.
Right.
Maybe they could be dismissive of the stuff about the music, or maybe they could be dismissive about the stuff about the art. But there really is something for everyone. If you go through there, there's something for everyone.
Right.
So for you to be dismissive of Good Morning Gloucester, that the only way you could be, in my mind, perhaps I'm jaded, or you know, that's just a hater.
Right.
In my mind, because I can't imagine that you could go through there and every single day not find something
that is
whether you agree with it or not, but like
is of interest to you or is in your
informative
zone, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's bananas to me. Right. Like this, I mean, we have, we're putting out 20 stories a day.
Right, but I just want to be clear. I'm not saying that this guy. So this guy John, I think, is doing Ray Lamont's stories because I believe Ray Lamont is sick. I think Catherine told me.
Oh,
that
I didn't
sick.
know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So John is kind of taken over his beat. And this guy John is super, super nice. And also, once I understood that it was kind of an interview, I was just like, I just want to be really clear about the dates. And he got things really, very, very accurate, which was really...
that's good, yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really good, I thought. So, he's super nice. He's super interested, and it was good. Yeah, because I've gotten a lot of good feedback from that. But most people are there volunteering, Joe, because of the posts that they've seen on Good Morning Gloucester.
Right. I mean, that's the point. The point is that like the Times would probably know about this the intense amount of Plover people that are donating. Catherine and everything. Plover mania. If it wasn't for the outlet of the blog. So to not associate you and the Plover mania with Good Morning Gloucester through the work that you've done through it is kind of like, really? That's kind of, I find that petty.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional on that guy John's part at all. I really don't.
All right.
I don't think it was.
Well, maybe it wasn't.
I'll be sure to bring it up if it's.
You don't have to.
No, but like this woman this morning, one of the volunteers, she was there because Catherine was there this morning. Like I get there at 5 o'clock, and then Catherine came at around 6, and this lady shows up at 7, and she goes, I'm here because of that story about how all the destruction on the at the nesting area.
Yeah. Are people guarding the nest all day?
Yeah. Yes, we have people
taking
stationed.
Kind of like they
shifts.
do with the sea turtles in Florida.
Yeah, we have them all stationed all around the parking lot right now because now we're still having issues with people not recognizing that it's because of dogs that the plovers are in the parking lot. And so people are saying things to me like, oh, well, what about the coyotes? The coyotes are the ones that push into the parking lot. I'm like, there are coyotes from Florida to Nova Scotia on every single beach. You know what I mean? So there's still a lot of that going on, which is very difficult, but I'm glad that some of the Animal Advisory Committee people were there last night, and so they could see right away there were 6 dogs who tried to go through the area and stuff. But then again, on the other hand, I'm afraid they're going to say, well, it's an enforcement issue, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not gonna anyways, but the plovers this morning, they were all 4 made it through the night, which is really good.
The chicks. The chicks just hatched yesterday.
There are 4
Yes,
chicks
there
or
are
2 chicks and 2 parents?
There's 4 chicks. 4 eggs, 4 chicks, and they had a little bit of a rough day yesterday. It was very hot in the parking lot. But I did see this morning that they're slowly migrating towards the marsh and number 3 inch. So we don't know if they're going to try to, cross over. We're hoping that it happens very soon because I don't think there's quite the same amount of food in the parking lot. There are just lots of teeny tiny insects in the parking lot that they're pecking at, but I don't think it's...
There's none of these.
No Queen Amanns for them to eat.
No Queen Amanns. I'm afraid that they didn't... they had a more difficult day than if they had been on the beach yesterday.
So
Did you not put like a little tent or canopy over them?
We did. We put some little tents in the roped off area, but it didn't work. Where they did end up going, like the sawhorses made little thin shadows, and they ended up all lined up in a row on the thin shadow of the sawhorses to get out of the sun.
Interesting.
Yeah, and usually they cuddle up under Mama, but that's more to keep warm. So they were doing less cuddling under the Mama and Papa. They do it. They take turns with the Mama and the Papa. So, we'll see. Today's a lot cooler, and there'll be a lot less people because it is cooler. There'll be a lot less people down there, and less.
Kim doing a rain dance every day, hoping that it's lousy weather. So that
why don't you plan an outdoor party and then it'll rain for sure, Joe?
Right.
Well, I want to say one thing. Our DPW has been, just beyond amazing.
Yeah.
Like, they show up with sawhorses, teams, crews, they're all very interested. Joe Lucido's got his binoculars. They know what's going on. They're very interested, and they do everything they can to help us.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's so cool.
My father-in-law, Bill Foley, wanted to do it. Wanted next time you see Ken Whittaker to tell him that.
Give him a shout out.
Bill Foley says hi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ken Whittaker rides his bike to and from Wenham. He's the car conservation agent. He lives in Wenham, rides his bike to and from. He was in a bad bike accident Friday, but he spent the day in the ER, but he came to the he came yesterday to check on the plovers.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
I will tell him that.
Tell him that. Okay. Wanted to give a shout out to my friends at Foster's. Foster's is having a Traeger sale.
What's a Traeger?
Pellet grill.
Yeah, it's a pellet grill. So right now, the biggest growth in the grilling industry is our pellet grills. So what
instead of charcoal.
Instead of charcoal.
Or gas.
So it's or gas, yeah. So what it is it's a big chamber, and it has like a compartment offset, and you set it to a temperature. There's a digital dial, and it emits the right amount of oxygen and like through the fan and pellets to maintain exactly that temperature. So you can.
So you don't have to manually keep adjusting the airflow.
You don't have to adjust it at all. And people, Bridget Matthews' husband Neil has one. Yeah. Loves it. Tom Fernandez got one. He loves it. People that get them swear by them. Anthony Catarano has one.
Are you thinking about getting one?
No.
You're a Weber.
So I'm a Weber guy, and here's the thing, and the eggs are great too, but in my case, I enjoy the manual control of the fire and the temperature.
Oh, okay.
I enjoy that. Like for that is a stress melting away.
Right.
For me,
it's kind of plain. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right.
Like I am, like right now, I have my little remote digital thermometer in front of me. That's at 237. Like you want to be between 225 and 275 to smoke. I put the ribs on at 7 a.m. I have a certain system that works for me with the Webers. I have not adjusted events since 7 a.m. I use the snake method, and it just works for me. Right. So I don't necessarily need.
And you have your little spy thermometer there that tells you what's going on.
What's the remote?
Yeah, your remote.
Yeah, my remote, my wireless temperature control. So I have a
Oh, so you could actually raise and lower the temperature from that?
No, it's just telling. It's giving me the reading.
Okay.
So if I'm at a point where I wouldn't even really need this. If I know how to set my vents to achieve a certain range of temperature.
Yeah, but someone could come and sabotage it.
Yeah,
So
if
you
some
need to watch.
see, this is the thing. Like, what people don't understand about barbecue, like someone walks, like a customer walks by or a fisherman walks by, and they lift that lid.
Exactly.
So it introduces a bunch of air, which can ignite like more coals than you want to be ignited and spike temperatures.
Gee, customer. I mean, I can see one of your fishermen wanting to check, but like a customer.
Like, people don't get it. They don't. I mean, anyone that's not
People
a barbecue.
don't respect other people's property anyway. They just think they're entitled to do what they want.
Well, it's just, they like, ooh, that smells really good. You get this. I have cherry wood on there right now, and it smells ridiculous. I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's cooking. So those things happen. It's not a huge deal, but like someone that is into barbecue, if you see someone do that, like your anger like shoots up within you. Like that's like a unwritten rule: never touch another man's barbecue.
Oh,
Yeah. For good reason. So anyway,
Another person's barbecue.
another person's.
To say.
That's right. I'm sorry. So anyway, the Foster's is running this Traeger sale, June 6th to the 17th.
Are you putting a picture up of what a Traeger grill looks like?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is.
I have a link, and they
How
have
much
all
are
the
those
different models.
grills?
Oh, they're like the tub things.
They're
Like the smoking
offset
thing.
smokers. They call them
Oh,
offset
okay.
smokers. Yeah.
How much are they?
I'm not sure what the range is. I think that they're as low as I don't want to say the wrong thing. So I'm guessing
Hundreds, thousands? How many
definitely
zeros?
hundreds. Probably I'm going to totally guess and say between 600 and 1200. But I could be off. I'm just not exactly positive. But again, the people that love them, they.
Is
really,
it only
really
for
love them.
smoking?
No, you could dial that up to have it.
So you can grill?
You can absolutely grill, yeah, and
Can
so
you do like indirect heat for like baking and roasting?
yes, that's exactly. People, Anthony Catarano, who's the owner and head chef at Tono.
Yeah.
He's a very talented guy, and he's really into barbecue. I've seen his writings about Traeger and
How
much he loves
and
them.
how much he loves it. So
Can you make a pizza on those?
yes,
Oh.
You know, there's a pizza oven for the Weber I saw.
yeah, I had the manufacturers of pizza kettle. They came to my house and we did a whole video series with my sister. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. You know so there's a few tricks, and I'm sure you know them. Yeah, we talked about this last week, didn't we?
Yeah, but you told me you couldn't make pizza on your Weber.
Well, I don't. I have the attachment, but I don't generally do it. I think it's much better. From what I understand, the eggs are better
For pizza than the Webers?
than the Webers. You have to get really huge temperatures, and you can achieve that with a Weber. It's just I don't like to expose my beautiful porcelain to those high temps.
Oh, well, it was just a year ago I got a grill from you for Tom.
Yeah, does he use it quite
he
often?
loves it. He wants to use it every night. He
Yeah.
loves it. I mean, we don't do fancy things like you. We just do like simple fish and veggies on the grill, but just really basic.
I had some company over last night. I got a big slab of salmon. I got a package of boneless. Kate has to have her boneless, skinless chicken breast, so skinless chicken breast. And then I made some smash burgers. I fed there's 10 of us.
Wow.
But there's nothing easier than salmon. There's
Yeah,
nothing.
nothing
There is
easier.
Well, unless
nothing.
you overcook it.
Right.
But you have the temperature gauge tells you when it's you bring it to 140 and it's done. So
Where did you get your
45.
salmon from?
I like a
Salmon
little
to
red.
kill the parasites.
Where did you get your salmon from?
Connolly's.
You got it from Connolly's?
Yeah, I like Connolly's.
Yeah, I like it too. I go to Turner's too, but I'm always looking for wild caught salmon. I'm really fussy about that.
Yeah.
Was it wild caught?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's kind of early in the
Oh.
season. That's why I'm asking for wild caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they said. So I got really olive oil, salt, pepper, a little garlic, salt, pepper, whatever, and then you just put it on the
Yes.
cedar plank,
Right.
offset the coals, let it rip 45. It's right around 45 minutes, and it's so delicious. There's nothing to it.
Yeah, there's nothing to it.
Did you ever cook it on those salt plates?
I have one. I haven't used it yet, though.
We had some at a restaurant recently. It was salmon. It was delicious.
I should
On
have
the salt
tried
plate.
it. I should have tried it. I didn't do it that way, though. So, anyway, they have this is the time of year. Foster's is really nice to have in town.
I can't fit any more grills on my deck.
You might have to get a Traeger. I don't know.
I already have 2 big grills.
So, what? I know you have the egg. What's the other one?
I have a Napoleon gas grill that I just got
Where did you get it?
with the Fosters,
Oh, there you
with
go.
the sizzle zone on the side, 1800 degrees, Sierra State.
Infrared.
Yep, it's
Beautiful.
awesome,
Let it rip.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quick.
Serious grilling going on right now.
No messing around. So I was driving down Main Street. Trio, Dio Braga's place that was Italiano.
Right, now it's Portuguese.
No,
Because it's
it's-
3
no, it's-
cuisines.
Yes, it's 3 cuisines.
Have you tried it?
American. No, I haven't yet.
Yeah.
But we got a press release from them. But the main thing that I want to mention about them, have you seen that the addition they put off the side of the building?
You know, I saw them making that. It's like,
It's beautiful. They have this terraced area with a what would you call it? Not a pergola. What would you call that? I don't know. It's an open air kind of. They have a beautiful
Like
roof
awning on
with
there.
columns in the corners.
Colors.
But it's just right off. I didn't realize that there would be that much space to have outdoor dining. Beautiful outdoor dining on Main Street.
Street.
Is there any other place that has outdoor dining on Main Street?
No, only at the
Yeah,
bar.
there's 2 tables in front of Virgilio's.
There you go.
The 2 little folding tables
Right.
Other
on
than
the
that,
Other than
sidewalk.
that,
So-
yeah, it's
so
worth it
true.
to go. It's worth it to go for that. But I want to try some, you know, authentic. I know there's the Azorian, but
Oh, we
and-
love the Azorian.
And they do such a beautiful job with their little landscape. Their landscaping all around. It always looks really.
yeah.
And they
what an
take
upgrade.
reservations, and they have good air conditioning.
Yeah, there you go. So Trio is partnering up with Cape Ann Brewing. They're having a summer kickoff beer tasting dinner
Oh, what's in
by
it?
reservation only on June 19th at 7 p.m. First course, salted cod fritters, light-bodied... the Viva San Pietro. So they're pairing with beers from Cape Ann
Brewing. Okay.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Second course, monkfish trio with rice, smoked agave.
That's poor man's lobster, you know, monkfish.
There you go, right? The third course, grilled tenderloin with roasted vegetable.
Wow.
And it's paired with Forge 4 hop forward IPA. So you get to try all these different beers. Oh, and then there's 4 courses. Summerberry stack bundle cake. No, Bande cake. Bond cake. With strawberry rhubarb. And it goes with the Sunrise Saison, traditional Saison brewed with 150 pounds of fresh rhubarb and fresh whole strawberries.
Dessert
That sounds
beer?
delicious.
Dessert beer.
Wow.
$35 a person, which is
That's
cheap.
Like
very
stealing.
cheap. Yeah.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So call
that
Trio.
it's at least that when you go out to dinner and have a glass or 2 of wine, right?
More.
More. 4 courses. Where are you going to go in this town for 4 courses with booze for $35 a person?
Right.
No way. That's not going to happen. So check. There's a link, and you can make your reservation. I'm not going to talk about LeBron James, and the Golden State Warriors swept the Cleveland Cavaliers. Swept them. Done.
Yeah.
So I will talk about it just briefly. LeBron James his contract is up in Cleveland, and
Right.
wild speculation is because they haven't put a good enough team around him to win a championship that he will be moving on from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Because who wants to live in Cleveland anyway? Like, you'd have to come up with like a ridiculous amount of money. But he's at a stage in his careers. He's won enough championships that he can go anywhere.
Right.
But he wants, if he's playing,
Where does he
money is not I'm not going to say it's a non-factor.
Yeah.
It's more about being able to win a championship
Right,
in
and
this
have a good
stage of his
team.
career,
Right.
and be in a place with his family that maybe
they
you want
want-
to maybe you want to be.
right.
Who wants to be in Cleveland?
Right.
It's like Cleveland, Newark, New Jersey,
Well, I'm
Detroit.
I'm sure there are very nice things about it. How can you say that?
Cleveland?
Have you lived there?
Okay. where would you rather be, Cleveland or Miami?
I don't know.
Cleveland
Probably
or
Cleveland.
L.A.
Miami's too hot.
L.A.
LA's too expensive.
For him?
Well, no.
This is what I'm talking. I'm talking about.
You asked me.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, if you're LeBron James, and you're going to spend the next 4 years of your life, the majority of the.
But if you've never lived in Cleveland, I mean, it could be very nice. You shouldn't just say no one wants to live in Cleveland.
I feel like I can make an informed enough decision by what people say.
I think it's hard for coastal people to think about living like in.
Have you ever seen the New Yorker magazine map of the U.S.?
No.
And it's got like the East Coast and the West Coast, and then like the middle is like this. I've got to look for it and show it to you.
So you have to. Can you? I need. Yeah. Send me a link to it so that way I can include it in the show notes. But I mean, that guy. Yeah. There's the media in LA. There's the. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. But anyway, so what happens now? He is so sought after. He's the best player in the league by a mile, right? He can change games by himself. So he's going to go on this tour, and every town that he goes on that's going to try to court him is just going to slurp him outrageous. But the thing that probably if I'm him, I would do the same exact thing. Yeah. I'm not judging him. What the problem that I have is just like. That wherever he goes, that it's can LeBron James beat the Golden State Warriors? Can LeBron James beat the Boston Celtics? Can LeBron James? It's not. Can the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Boston Celtics? Can the Can the Cavs beat the Golden State Warriors? And to me, I hate that. I don't like it. To show how consistent I am. I don't like it when I hear the national media say it's Tom Brady versus the Atlanta Falcons.
Right.
It's the Patriots. It's always a team. Right. So anyway, I would hate to have them dismantle. I love this Celtics team the way it is right now. Yeah. I would hate to see them dismantle it because they'd have to give away some really good pieces of the puzzle to get him in, only to have him, for the whole year, they'd talk about LeBron James and not the Boston Celtics. Yeah. I would hate that. Anyway, so there's that. Cape Ann Farmers Market was open for the first time this past Thursday, so it's ongoing for every Thursdays at Stage Fort Park. At
that beautiful, beautiful location.
Gorgeous.
On top of the hill.
It's so
overlooking the harbor there. It's spectacular.
Gorgeous location. Good Harbor Footbridge update from Kim Smith. I've been seeing pictures. I've been seeing more pictures from Phil Cuckoo than I have from you.
From me. Been a little busy with the plovers.
Yeah.
But he is. They are probably. Let's see. Joe Lucido told me. I took some pictures this morning. Mm-hmm. Joe Lucido told me that they are probably going to be done today, and now they are just waiting. What they'll be waiting for is an inspection from Bill Sanborn. So hopefully Bill will come tomorrow. So as soon as Bill Sanborn gives the go ahead, they can open it up for business.
I wish they'd add some trash cans while they got the tools out.
Here we go.
We can't have a podcast.
We can't have a podcast without the ongoing debate.
It's the only beach I've ever been to anywhere in the world where there's no trash cans.
Well, other beaches don't have trash cans, but the DPW guys told me that since they've been putting a few trash barrels out and still promoting carry in, carry out, it's better.
Wow, what a surprise.
Wow, yeah.
In Naples, Florida, every entrance to every beach has a covered trash bag.
Every other beach in the world has a ton of trash cans.
Yeah.
Except in Japan, there are no trash cans anywhere because they had that sarin gas attack in the subway.
Oh.
So now they have no trash cans, but it's the cleanest place you'd ever go.
Yeah.
They have beautiful trash cans at Nahant Beach. They're like metal grates, and then they have a black top with just a single little hole in the middle, so you can't overstuff them and the seagulls can't pull things out. Then the grated area that goes around the barrel, you just open up the gate and slide the barrel out, empty the barrel, and then put the barrel back in, close the gate, and so it's like impenetratable
Yeah.
by varmints and seagulls.
Varmints. Varmints. I feel
It's
like
a word
we-
you don't hear
that
every
was
day.
going back to
Critters.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Critters and varmints.
What was that? Sam? Who's the guy with the
Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn? And what was the guy with the big mustache there?
Oh,
I don't know what you're
Oh,
talking
God.
about.
Sam, Tennessee. Jesus, what the hell was
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking
You
about.
get your varmints.
You're not old enough, obviously.
She,
I am, but I don't know
no,
what
she's too. She
I don't know
is
what
us pedestrian people.
She's on
watch
another
the
plane,
thing.
really.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's
Oh my
us
God.
us bourgeois. You
So
know.
where
Agree.
does this comparison come to Yosemite Sam? What is that?
Because he always used to say, "Get your varmints." You know, it was part of his vernacular.
The syntax he's referring
Is it a
to.
show? Was it a
syntax.
TV show?
It's a cartoon.
Oh, a cartoon.
Come on,
Oh,
give it
I'm
a
sorry.
bug. One in
Sorry.
Looney Tunes. He's one of the Looney Tunes
Oh,
characters.
Sorry.
She was
I'm
probably
sorry.
watching PBS while we were
Yes.
tuned into the cartoons.
You know what? We didn't have a TV, and I wasn't allowed
Yes.
to watch
We had
it.
black and white
PBS or
TV
NPR.
with 3 channels.
It was either PBS and
NPR,
NPR.
she's listening.
In the
yeah.
crib, she had it like
Exactly.
playing. Yeah,
Exactly.
Of course.
We weren't really allowed to watch TV.
iTunes University.
Yeah.
One time, my dad let us watch Lassie, and I'll never forget this. Lassie, a kitten was stuck on a rock, and Lassie was trying to rescue the kitten, and my dad walked into the living room, and my mother and my sisters and I were all sobbing, and he marched over to the TV, and he said, "This is why we don't watch TV."
Jeez, that's pretty rough. Anyway, GloucesterCast. Where are we at? GloucesterCast. Well, did I mention it? Free tickets to Cape Ann Community Cinema. Share this post on Facebook for a chance to win 2 free tickets to Cape Ann Community Cinema. The cinema listings are always stickied in the top of the Good Morning Gloucester calendar at the top of the blog, and you can click on the link in the show note to go directly to their website. Susan, thank you for the Queen Amann.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
You are invited every week.
Thank you.
I want you here.
I
I don't know
know.
if you have more.
Is it always this
Yep.
day and time?
8:30 a.m.
Same
Sunday
bat
morning.
time, same bat channel?
Got it. GloucesterCast 283 is in the books. Boom.
Oh, was it off?
No, you can still talk.